This is Mick Foley.
Former WWE superstar Hornswoggle.
This is Dave LaGreca from Bustin' Open.
I am WWF's longest reigning light heavyweight champion, Gilbert, and you are now
somewhere in the ring.
Somewhere in the ring.
Somewhere in the ring.
Somewhere in the ring. Have a nice day.
I had a very fun weekend, but it was it was lacking some wrestling, as you and I have already discussed.
You had a wrestle-free weekend on the most insane wrestling weekend in history.
Where one of the events was taking place at the ballpark of my favorite baseball team, if not my favorite sports team in general.
Insane.
Mm-hmm,
Well,
busy.
You were busy. Well, I want to talk about that. So let's run through that first. Before we do that, welcome guys to Somewhere in the Ring podcast.
Boom.
I'm one of your hosts, Andrew.
See, this is why you don't get to do the intro.
I don't even know my own name. We have become one, Andrew.
It's
we
true.
are.
Yeah.
We are the symbiote.
Dave Franco and Allison Brie in that new movie. I assume. Yeah. Looks good.
That preview gave me the creeps. Wow, I'm Ryan Sprague. Who are you?
Yeah, you are. I'm Andrew Sanford. This is Somewhere in the Ring. And hey, look, I want to say I'm sporting my first piece of AEW merch that I've ever worn on this show.
That is sweet.
Abolish ICE. Get out of here. I say abolish ICE. I bought a t-shirt. I'm feeling very proud. They did get $45 billion added to their budget. So, not going to happen anytime soon, probably. Which
that's
sucks.
Like a perverse way of reverse psychology right there.
There we go. Yeah. Maybe if we give them more money, they'll go away. Yeah.
Maybe? Yeah. That's how bribes work, right? Yeah.
That's true. Okay. That's a good point. Touche. And that seems pretty on board with this administration. So that I think so. You might actually be looking in the right direction.
We are on to something, my friend. Well, we will point out first and foremost, we're having a little bit of technical issues with our not your fault by any means.
I will
but
just
if
say
Andrew,
if I sound like shit, like I've come so far on this podcast, and as far as talking into a bad little mic that I had, and then an okay mic, and now a good one, and today it's basically a prop because the good people who we love at StreamYard don't want you to hear me, is my assumption. No. Without me sounding like I have some kind of echo or something. So
trying to censor us, man.
Hopefully get that sorted out for next week. We also have a lot to talk about today. Very quickly, though, we will say up top, I got to take my kids to see Weird Al in concert on Saturday night. One of the best nights of my life. He was incredible. And I've seen him perform once before, but this was even better for a myriad of reasons. And then they're 4 years old, and we did not want to have to take them on a bus into Jersey City after they just sat. We're already up way past their bedtime, and then sat for several hours, entertained but tired. So we got a tiny little hotel room across the street just to sleep in, basically. But I was too excited to sleep. And so when everybody went to bed, I went and I saw Superman.
Wow.
I had a real New York City night. Yeah,
you did. What? So what time was the movie at?
11:25. And I barely made it in. One thing I will say, I don't think we'll get into spoilers about the movie. But I got there right when like the opening crawl was ending.
Okay.
And this isn't much of a spoiler. It's how the movie starts, but it just says I basically walked in, something was being said, and then I sat down, and then it said 3 hours ago, Superman lost a battle for the first time, and that was all I needed to hear. Yeah. I was like, I get it. I think I know the rest of the stuff.
Yep.
And everything else got filled in.
Exactly. It was like a 3,000 years ago, metahumans came to Earth. 300 years ago, 3 months ago. It was so cool. I love how they kind of, in this movie, they just thrust you into the middle of it. We don't have the Superman origin story. We don't need it. Him and Lois are already together.
We don't really have
contact with Lex Luthor. It's awesome. I love it.
Pretty great. I loved it. Yeah, it was a great movie. It was like a big old 70s comic book. At one point, he's just like in a river of colors. Yep. And I was like, hell yeah, dude. hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. Like just
river of colors.
I'm going like right after this. I have to hop off as always to get my kids, but also go to work. And then when I'm done at work, I'm gonna go see it again. So
You know
I'm
what?
very excited because I got that
I'm
A-list. I got to go again.
I hear you, and this will be the first time in history in my lifetime that I will be going to see a movie in the theaters more than once. I have never gone back to see a
Never?
movie. Never, dude. Even Star Wars, I only went into the theater to see it once. It's it's not like a thing of pride or anything. I just
No,
never
yeah.
did it. I just never did
Even
it. But
even Lord of the Rings. I know
yep,
that might seem
once,
like wow, wow. I
once
saw
for
Return of
each.
the King 3 times in theaters. Three
That's
times, which is arguably too much.
I would expect nothing less from you.
Thank you.
But yes, Superman 2025 will be the first movie that I will ever go to twice because it was that good. It just
Cool.
filled me with so much hope, which is what Superman is all about. And I think everyone sort of needed this movie right now. And
Good.
it's the perfect time for it. So I'm glad that was good. I'm glad the concert was amazing. I'm glad they played the one song you had
So
hoped
much.
that they would for your kids. And yeah,
That
it sounds
still
like
it's hard for me to even. I wrote an article. We talked about it to try to get to
yeah,
play the Captain Underpants theme song, and I had found out ahead of time, and I didn't know this until about a week before we went. But I wrote that article got released on June 11th, and June 13th was the first night of his tour, and he has played it on all but like a few shows. So if you read the article, great. If you didn't read it, still great, still awesome.
still great.
The universe is smiling on my children, and they freaked out when that happened. They freaked out. It was great,
Ugh,
and they're still
I'll
talking
tell you,
about it.
memories you
Yeah.
will always have, man. That's incredible. Well, hey, we had some big memories this weekend in the wrestling world.
A lot was going on while I was sitting in there. So for people that don't know, there were 4 events this weekend,
4.
and
Yeah.
that doesn't include SmackDown.
That does not include SmackDown. We had Great American Bash. We had AEW All-In. We had Saturday night's main event, and then we ended Sunday with Women's Evolution 2 over at WWE. Crazy.
Incredible. I'm gonna throw some at you because I didn't get to see anything. I saw little bits and pieces. I know some things that went on. One thing I will say that I think will surprise people, and I'm going to say this because I don't think any human being should be hard on themselves unnecessarily, and I think that this came about from people being mean online. I thought Goldberg looked great.
Dude.
For a near 60-year-old man, he looked fantastic. Like
Yeah.
that's
Fantastic.
not even like I feel that like I'm still annoyed that he had to be like find somebody who doesn't look like me, even though Billy Gunn looks better. However, I do think people were attacking his appearance, and he stood up for himself and yada yada yada. But at the end of the day, Goldberg, I just want to say you looked great, pal. You looked great. Okay, all right.
I love it. I'm glad we could straighten that out here on the
And
show.
I'm glad that you lost. Sorry, what were you saying, Ryan? Did you keep? You were still going.
No, we're good. We're good.
We're good. Okay, cool.
Yeah, we're good on that. I would have to agree with you. We'll get to that match that happened at Saturday.
What was your favorite spot that you saw this weekend? Because you saw most of the things.
I did. The only one I really didn't get to catch much of, which was Great American Bash NXT. I've got highlights from each, so I'll run through a couple of those. I know we're on a time crunch here, but oh boy, can I answer it at the end?
Yes, you can. That's fair. That's fine.
Because I think I might need a little. No, that's fine, buddy. I just think I might need a little memory refresher as I go through these. And I'm a guy who likes things sequentially. So should we kind of start with American Bash? That was our first one.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, some NXT action.
Yeah. Again, like NXT is doing incredible things right now, working with TNA. So that was featured prominently in this PLE. We had a lot of TNA crossover. The big one that came out of this was a contract signing that took place at a PLE of all things. So, it wasn't a match, but it was a pretty big contract signing. Get this. Contract signing between current TNA champion Trick Williams. Yes, TNA champion Trick Williams, who's on NXT.
Still think he should take the title from John Cena. Keep going.
Ooh,
him or Obafemi. I want an NXT person to do it.
I love. Oh, that would.
Now that my CM Punk dreams have been crushed.
Well, we'll get there. So Trick Williams will be defending the title against Mike Santana and Joe Hendry in a triple threat match at Slammiversary, which I have just learned is a TNA.
Yeah, that's like their WrestleMania.
WrestleMania. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Pretty much. Slammiversary, I believe, is like the one, like that's their big one.
All right. July 20th, Slammiversary,
Cool.
TNA. Trick Williams will be defending against these two guys in a triple threat match. And this ended a little heated with Joe Hendry and Mike Santana putting Trick Williams through a table at the end of a contract.
Wait, did you say July 20th?
July 20th. Yeah.
So, okay. Sorry, never mind. I thought yesterday was the 13th. I was like, wait, it's on a Monday? Never mind.
Oh, that would be risky going up against Monday Night Raw.
I don't even. Yeah. Don't go up against Monday Night Raw when they've literally taken the names of the pay-per-views of their fallen enemy and put them on their like enhancement brand.
Yeah.
Like that's what they do. Bash of the Beach, they do Great American Bash. Like they'll do Halloween Havoc gets done through NXT. Like it's all very, very funny to me.
It is. So that happened. We had some other good matches. Javon Evans had a good match. Obafemi had a good match. Again, I wasn't able to catch much of it, but the one I did catch was the main event. And that was Jordan Grace and Blake Monroe, who is better known from AEW as Mariah May. And they teamed up, her and Jordan Grace, to go up against JC Jane, who's the current NXT champion, and Fallon Henley. And it was a pretty good match. Someone named, let me get this right, Masha Slamovich. Do you know Masha Slamovich?
I don't, but I love that name.
That name is awesome. I don't know much about Masha, but she came in to help Jordan Grace and Monroe after some interference by Jasmine Nix took place. Fatal Influence is the name of that faction. That's with Fallon Henley and JC Jane. And yeah, this Slamovich came in, helped out. Jordan Grace and Monroe ended up winning the match. And right at the end, Monroe would turn on Jordan Grace. And wait, did that happen at this one? JC Jane at Evolution. Jordan Grace Monroe would win. No, I'm sorry. That took place at Evolution. I'm getting ahead of myself here. Buddy.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Too much to keep in my mind.
Now I don't know what to believe.
No, don't believe a word I just said.
You're sitting there with your outline that was sent to me.
Of course I am.
And you're.
Yeah. I started this episode by saying my name is Andrew Sanford.
That's true. That's true. Hey, look, you caught yourself before you got to the last name. Give yourself.
That's true. Okay. So yes, this NXT American Bash ended with Jordan Grace and Blake Monroe, who did not yet turn on Jordan Grace, to win that match. So that was NXT Great American Bash.
Sick. What was your favorite? Did you have a favorite spot of that match?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I will be honest. I did not. I caught like maybe a few minutes of this.
Gotcha.
Thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But good work all around.
On here. Yeah.
Yep. She's gonna get called up any day now.
I thought she already there were rumors that she had already. Whenever Vancouver got called up to Raw, there were rumors that Grace was listed internally as a SmackDown superstar like the same week, and then
maybe you're right.
It didn't happen. But no, I don't think it I don't think it happened. Like that.
Yet she had a match at Evolution, a main event, not main event, but she had a major match at Evolution.
As she should. Yeah.
She should. Absolutely, man. Let's get to this one. I did
look
catch
at them Texas Rangers colors. Come on.
How do you like that? AEW All-In Texas took place on Saturday as well. And dude, I will say this, 6 hours long. Longest pay-per-view event in wrestling history.
6 hours?
6 hours from
that is just not a breath. That sounds punishing.
Too much.
6 hours?
Too much.
Guys. Now, one thing I will say, there is lots to do at Globe Life Field in Arlington. Okay, I will say that. Like, there's restaurants and stuff, but 6 hours?
Yeah. Yep, that's what happened.
You're holding people. I'm sorry, like, and not even knowing, like, literally only knowing of 2 matches in there. I know that Mercedes Moné went up against Tony Storm, and I know that John Moxley went up against Adam Page. Those are the only 2 matches I can say that I know for sure happened. And yet I can say with confidence, some of those matches were too long. I'm just going to say it. If it is 6 hours, it means some of those matches were too long. Just too long.
Too long. Main event was 40 minutes long. Main event was 40 minutes.
And but again, like, but so was Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes.
Yeah,
1 and 2. Like,
Yep.
I think that's possible. But at the end of like a 3-hour show,
yeah,
I'll even give you like bridging the gap from 3 to 4. 6 hours is too much, especially when you're doing PLEs like every 3 weeks, or like you're doing events every 3 weeks on a Wednesday night.
yeah.
6 hours. Whew. Oh.
Those people are definitely getting their money's worth and then some. You want to hear some highlights from this thing?
I won't say that. At least that's a good point, because you do have to still pay like $50 for these.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. What's your highlights? Throw them at
Yeah,
me. What did MJF do?
MJF won this gauntlet match. So basically, he now has the opportunity to call a title shot, whatever title he wants, whenever he wants. It's like a glorified Money in the Bank. So there you go. He was the winner of that.
Okay.
It was a good gauntlet match. I didn't really catch most of that one, but here's the things that really stood out for me, and I'll breeze through them unless you
Lay
want
it
to
on me.
stop.
No, it's okay. Yeah, I might. But,
Probably one of the saddest moments I've seen in an event. Adam Cole came out and gave this heartfelt speech about him possibly having to retire forever from wrestling due to nagging injuries, and he
I
might be done
never
for
believe
good.
that anymore, but I hope he's okay.
Yeah, I don't know, man. This
Especially,
seemed pretty permanent. I don't know.
so did Edge.
Yeah, good point.
So did Jeff Hardy. So did Shawn Michaels.
All right.
So did a gentleman that I know returned at this exact same event.
We'll get there.
I want everybody to be healthy and happy and live in life. And if you need to not wrestle to make that happen, great.
Do it.
But I no longer am buying the "you're retired forever" stuff. I just don't buy it.
Okay. That's fair.
This one might be different because I know it's like concussion stuff with him, right?
Yeah.
Like it's very specifically a brain injury. Those are very serious. And again, all the love and respect to Adam Cole, and I hope he's okay and is able to, like, I think the only person I can think of where something like that has looked permanent without getting like too extreme, like Darren Drozdov, of course, like that's an extreme, sure, but like, or in a similar vein, Big E.
Yep.
Like Big E's the one. He penned a whole essay that was basically just about, I don't really think I need to do this anymore. So I hope Adam Cole's okay. I would not be surprised if we see him in like 2 years.
That's
showing up at WWE, like, because I feel like that's usually the Saraya was another one that was supposed to be permanent. That injury was terrible. You see her get kicked and she can't even use her hands. It's awful. Back in the ring.
Scary stuff, man.
Yeah.
And a possible return to WWE pending. We shall see for Saraya. We shall see.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all this to be said, Adam Cole did have to give up his TNT championship. And they did an impromptu fatal 4-way match for the title with Daniel Garcia, Dustin Rhodes, Kyle Fletcher, and Sammy Guevara. And this was a really good match and a very unexpected victory. Dustin Rhodes came out on top to be our new TNT champion.
It's very funny. I knew that he won. I did not know that he won against 3 gentlemen that are half his age, which I think is funny. I am never, look, the people you're going to put over here, you're going to put over, you're going to do what you're going to do. Who knows how much longer Dustin Rhodes has left in his career. Yeah. Slap a world title, or I guess a world title. Is a TNT title a world title? I guess not.
I don't know.
But I know he seemed pretty touched by it at the press conference. So you know what? Hell
Guy's
yeah.
passionate. Yep.
Oh yeah. He's been in the game a long time.
Yeah, for sure. We also had a Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay match against the Young Bucks, a tag team match. It was really cool to see Swerve and Ospreay team up together. There were some moments of conflict, but by the end, they came through and they won. They won this tag team match. So that was pretty cool. Here's the one you mentioned of a return that happened. 3-way tag team match. Patriarchy took on the Hurt Syndicate and Jet Speed. Hurt Syndicate ended up winning the match. But this is the breakup of the Patriarchy. They ended up beating the crap out of Christian Cage at the end, and they're done,
Wow.
dude. Disbanded. Christian Cage was left on the ground, bruised and battered by his own team, and someone came to his rescue, hit the music. Cope is back. My boy is back, and he saved Christian Cage, his former best friend and tag team partner.
I'm sorry, that was not the return I was talking about.
Oh, okay. Oh, I know the one. Okay.
Yeah, the other one. Because Edge already came back from being permanently injured. This was another gentleman who was permanently injured and could no longer wrestle, and then showed up kicking people in the chest wearing a luchador mask for some reason. I guess to hide who it was. Just pull the hoodie up, man.
I know who you're talking about.
But that's pretty fun. That's pretty
Cope
fun.
came back, and what was cool about that one, man, is he helped Christian up, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, what's gonna happen?" And if you'll remember, when Cope came to AEW and saw Christian for the first time, Christian told him, "Go F yourself," and it was like that was it. Helped him up in this match. Cope did, and what did he say to him? He said, "Go find yourself." I loved it. I liked it.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling we're going to get a babyface Christian Cage coming back, and we're finally going to get the reunion we've all been waiting for. So that was cool.
And if Chris Van Vliet math is to be believed, they might not have much longer for that either, because I heard him talking about Edge in particular, and the possibility of him coming back to take part in John Cena's last run, because he was such a big part of his initial run. And when he talked to him, I guess at the time, Cope said he had like a year and a half left on his contract. And like he did the math, and he was like, I think it was like October 2023 that he went to AEW. And there could be like some injury time added on there. Long story short, his contract could be up in October.
Ooh,
so
okay.
they might speed run toward that, or they'll add that injury time, do it through the end of the year. I know I feel like Christian hasn't put a shelf life on his career, but I know Edge has made it pretty clear. He's like, I'm back, but I can't do this forever. So
okay,
that's fair. So we'll see. An Edge and Christian run would make me watch quite a bit of AEW, I think, or at least like definitely get back in there.
Absolutely.
Much of a mark as that makes me sound. And so the current tag champs are still the Hurt Syndicate.
Correct.
Did they win? Cool.
Yep.
Cool.
They're still
those two against Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin. Those will be some great matches.
Be fantastic. The next one was Tony Storm and Mercedes Moné, as you mentioned. Dude, this was a masterclass in a
I bet.
Oh my God. So entertaining, obviously, with Tony Storm. But I will say this, Mercedes Moné played her part. She played it well. She really leaned into the comedy that Tony Storm will bring into a match, whether it's slapstick or the crassness of how she does. This was not a match for the kiddos. I will tell you that much. This was not a match for the kids, and neither was the press conference after with Tony Storm. But I will say this, awesome match. Tony Storm came out, retained, and kind of handed Mercedes her first loss in a while. She didn't lose a belt, but she did not gain another one. So that was pretty cool. And then obviously the main event was just insanity. We had John Mox versus Hangman Adam Page in a Texas death match for the AEW World Championship. I can run through this really quick if you want.
No, just tell me who won and let's keep going. We got. Right, I'm like, we have two more events to get to.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. So we had the likes of Bryan Danielson, Ospreay, Swerve, Darby Allin made a return.
Oh, nice.
Yep. It was cool. They showed him on Mount Everest, and then he actually propelled down from the rafters of the stadium.
Sick.
Like he was coming off the mountain and then into the stadium. And they all were trying to help Hangman win this match against Mox. And this would end with Swerve locking Mox up on a top rope with a chain and leaving Hangman to basically have Mox tap out. And that was it, man. Hangman Adam Page finally took the title out of that briefcase that it's been hidden in for months and months and months and months now, showed it to the audience there, the audience at home, and Hangman Adam Page is the new AEW World Champion. Death Riders are gone for now.
All right. Good. Hey, fine.
Yeah.
Good.
That capped off a 6-hour event, my man. I had a great time watching it. I was
Nice.
exhausted by the end, but
I bet.
a lot of fun.
That's a lot.
It was a lot.
Dinner break during something like that.
Oh yeah, there was plenty of that happening as well. Let's breeze over to Saturday night's main event. Were you able to catch any of this one?
No, I was watching Weird Al, man.
You were at Weird Al.
There watching Weird Al, having a good time. And it didn't have like a total. Here's a wild thing. Usually, just through like different, and it might be because of how much was going on this weekend. Usually, with something like this, I see bits and pieces going around. I have an idea of what was happening during the event. If I don't see it or something like that, all I saw was stuff about Goldberg and Gunther and about how WWE cut away before Goldberg could do his. And I love, first of all, guys, WWE didn't do that. NBC did that.
NBC did that. Yeah.
Like, come on. What are you talking about? Like,
yeah, they hit the mark. It's
network television. You can't go over. Are you kidding me?
That's what
ridiculous.
That's what digital is for. They ended up releasing the whole.
Yes.
Yeah. And we put it on our TikTok. If anyone wants to watch the whole speech, we have it up over on our TikTok as well. But opening match was Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre.
Oh, right.
And, that happened.
McIntyre Who won that one?
So he was accompanied by Logan Paul. Orton was accompanied by Jelly Roll. We had a scuffle between Jelly Roll and Logan Paul on the outside.
I should hope so. See? Okay. I'm on board for that.
Okay. All right. And then McIntyre was trying to tell Jelly Roll, yo, lay off. Like, yeah, you have no business being here, blah, 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 which distracted him long enough for Randy Orton to hit an RKO and beat McIntyre. But that was not it. What ended up happening is Logan Paul came in, knocked Orton to the ground. Jelly Roll came in the ring to help his buddy Randy Orton. It's just as he was about to set Drew McIntyre hit Jelly Roll with the hardest claymore I have ever seen. So I give Jelly Roll all the credit, man. He took that like a champ. Ooh.
I could not hum a Jelly Roll song if you pointed a gun to my head.
Same.
That being said, I love seeing that guy whenever he shows up anywhere because he looks like he is handling fame the way that I think you should, which is you just get to go to all the cool shit you want to go to.
Exactly.
So that's
he's having the time of his life. He clearly loves wrestling.
Hell yeah.
And he is, dude, I will say this. That guy has dropped at least 180 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah. Because at SummerSlam, Randy Orton and Jelly Roll will be taking on Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre. It's official.
Amazing. Okay. Yep. Wow. Oh, yeah. It says he's lost like nearly 200. Wow. Good for you, Jelly Roll.
I know.
That's awesome. Good for him.
I am jealous, man. I need that Jelly Roll exercise, workout, whatever he's doing. Let me get that. Next up, we had Jimmy Uso versus Solo Sikoa for the U.S. Championship. Solo had all the help in the world from everyone in his new faction that he's got going on with his family. He retained. He ended up winning the match. All the guys started to beat up Jimmy at the end, and Jacob Fatu came out to a huge pop, helped Jimmy out, and it was awesome, dude. It was awesome to see.
Sick. Look, it is so very funny to me that we could be hitting a point where Jacob Fatu takes on the role in the bloodline that Solo Sikoa had. Because there was a little bit of a bloodline reunion stuff at Raw last night too. So
yep.
Very exciting.
Ooh. We'll get there. Mm-hmm. Yep. We've got your Raw highlights too, guys. Next up, we had LA Knight versus Seth Rollins. I'm sure, Andrew,
this one I know of. Poor Seth. I actually saw the jump today, and props to him for finishing the match.
Mm-hmm.
And going through with it. It's just wrestling, man. It's just wrestling. Yeah. Like he was just a little sour, and I almost wonder. I'm like, because it was clear the first springboard that something was up.
Yep.
And then I almost wonder, I'm like, oh, what if he didn't do that second springboard?
I know.
Like,
I know. You
you
could tell
never,
after the
like,
second one. Yeah.
so
bad.
it's yeah, it's bad. We'll see. Hopefully it's not too bad. And it's something, because he wasn't like screaming, he didn't look like crazy in pain. It was just it looked like a man that went, I can no longer stand up properly.
Yep.
And nor
But
will
he
I.
handled it like a professional. He
Yep.
he had LA Knight finish the match. LA Knight ended up winning. Who knows what was actually planned for this, but yeah, I don't know, man. We'll see what happens, but Seth is part of a lot of very important stories right now. So this could dramatically affect things moving into SummerSlam. It was addressed on Monday Night Raw last night.
Yeah, I was about to say, it almost feels like they already did a little bit of a course correct too.
Pivot. Yep. So we will see. So yeah, that unfortunately happened. But then that brings us to our main event, Gunther versus Goldberg. And like you said, Goldberg looked pretty darn good coming out there. Hit his
How long was
entrance
the
just
match?
like he did.
How long was the match?
Over 12 minutes.
All right.
Yep.
Good for him.
I will say this, man. He held his own in there.
Good.
Gunther obviously carried the match, but
Sure.
dude, Goldberg
As he
hit
should. He's the heel.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Gunther hit all his signatures. People ate it up. They loved it. He didn't get as gassed as I think he would, to be honest. And it ended with basically Goldberg hitting his move and getting quote unquote injured just enough for Gunther to put the sleeper hold on him, and enough for the ref to call the match.
Hate it.
And,
Hate it.
yeah.
Hate it. He
Why
got
do you hate
injured?
it?
You can't just have Gunther beat him clean?
Nope.
You can't have him beat him clean?
No.
Ah,
Yeah.
hate.
So there you go. But Gunther
Negative thumbs
remains.
No, that doesn't make any sense. As many
Negative thumbs
more
down.
thumbs down, plus thumbs down, several
There
thumbs
you
down,
go.
all of my thumbs down. I just like, guys, whatever.
That's
whatever,
it.
man.
We have
Whatever.
seen the
All right.
last of Goldberg, and that was Saturday night's main event. All right,
Ugh.
let's move to what do we got next? WWE
Evolution 2.
I will speed through this, buddy. I promise. We got a opener was a triple threat women's intercontinental match: Becky Lynch versus Bayley versus Lyra Valkyria. A lot of good near falls. Everyone hit their moves. It was awesome. But Becky Lynch, she hit this like backslide pin right at the end. Bayley had Lyra pinned, and then I have never seen this sort of pin before. Becky Lynch did some crazy ninja stuff and put Bayley into a pin from that pin and ended up retaining. It was awesome. This match was a fantastic way to start the night.
Ooh, so I like that Lyra didn't take the pin.
Yeah, she did not.
Nice.
Nope. So yeah, Becky Lynch remains our Intercontinental champion. We moved on to JC Jane versus Jordan Grace in a really good hard fought match. And this is when Blake
was that
Monroe
for the belt? Was that
this
for the
was
belt?
for the NXT championship. Yep.
Right.
Yep. And what ended up happening is Blake Monroe or Mariah May ended up turning on Jordan Grace, who was her tag team partner just the night before at American Bash.
The afternoon before, sir. Thank you very much. They were
yes,
wrestling, they were wrestling for the blue hairs on Saturday, as we say.
Gotta get that matinee crowd, baby.
Yeah. It's the same. It works for anything. Wrestling, theater, whatever. It's always just old people and kids.
Yep. And as bartenders, we know that's when you sell 8,000 Diet Pepsis. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know why I brought that up. That just happened. Okay. JC Jane would retain in this match. This moved us to a 4-way tag team match between Raquel, Roxanne, Kabuki Warriors, Sol Ruka and Zariah, and Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss.
Ooh.
Dude, this Charlotte Flair Alexa Bliss thing is fire.
Awesome. Cool.
They have captured lightning in a bottle. Oh my God. Their chemistry together is amazing. They're really growing on one another. And we are seeing a side of Charlotte Flair that I think she wanted and we wanted. She seems like she's having a good time. The crowd got behind her during this match. She hit some moves where that place erupted. For Charlotte Flair, when's the last time that's really happened since her return?
True. Yeah. No. Yeah.
So yeah,
they really want her to be a heel. I did not know how much flack she catches from
Yeah.
wrestling fans until recently.
yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
bad, pretty vitriol.
Somebody's being really loud outside my building right now.
We can't hear it. You're good, man.
Oh, perfect. Okay, good.
It's the glory of your mic not working this week. Sore subject. Sorry.
Yeah, come on.
Deeply offended. I know. I'll say this: I've never seen Sol Ruka before.
Mhm.
Wow, she's
Yeah.
got a bright future. I can't wait to
Cool.
see what she does.
Okay.
Yeah, really cool. And Raquel and Roxanne did retain, which I think was my original prediction. So
Yeah, I was definitely on I did not think that was going to happen at all. So interesting.
yeah, not what I wanted.
Interesting.
I definitely wanted
I
that
never-
Charlotte Flair
there-
and Alexa Bliss.
There is nothing I have been wrong about more than Judgment Day, just in general. I think we could go back. There could be a whole montage about how many times I've incorrectly predicted what's
So
going to happen
true.
with Judgment Day.
So true. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So great match. Next up we had Tiffany Stratton and Trish Stratus for the WWE
Ooh.
Women's Championship.
Ooh.
Dude, Trish is just getting better with age. It's incredible what she can do
Yeah.
in the ring at her age. I don't know her
Mhm.
age, but I mean she's part of the late attitude era.
At her age. I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is,
And
but
let's see. Let's take a peek.
take a peek. Take a gander.
I'm gonna guess like 45 would be no, never mind. I'm gonna guess 50.
I'm gonna say 50. I'm gonna say 49.
She is 49 years old. She'll turn 50 in December. You nailed it.
Ding,
A
ding,
plus
ding.
plus.
Give
Yep.
me that stuffed bear at the carnival, baby. Yeah. So I mean,
Wild.
awesome match. Awesome match. They both did really good, but this was definitely not the standout of the show by any stretch. It was a good
Mhm.
match, but Tiffany would hit Prettiest Moonsault to win and retain. And I'm just gonna say this: everyone's been kind of talking about it. They have to turn Tiffany heel. Like it's just it's time. It's time.
Wow.
Everything
Okay.
she's doing is sort of heelish. I just don't think she's not a believable babyface in my opinion, and I just feel like it's time to turn her. Yeah. So again, it was what it was. Tiffany retained. This brought us to a no holds barred match: Naomi versus Jade Cargill. Awesome match. They both looked fierce. A match like this can really mask a lot in the ring, and like we have talked about, Jade is still learning. So I think this is a really good way to highlight her, and also kind of mask those flaws that she might still have technically.
Mhm.
But it was brutal. Naomi, I think, busted her nose at one point. She definitely had a bloody nose. And the match ended with Jade Cargill putting Naomi through a table to win the match. So there you
Sick.
go.
Sick.
Yeah,
Sick.
that was your prediction. We got a Jade
Yeah,
Cargill win.
Yeah.
And that brought us to the Battle Royale. I'm not going to name everyone. All I'm going to say is this was chaotic, as Battle Royales often are. You don't really get a feel for everything until it's narrowed down to like 4 people or so. But
Right.
this would end, dude, with Stephanie Vicor, who we both predicted would win this thing, and of all people, Lash Legend.
Lash Legend. I will say when I read that, I was just
Awesome.
like, Lash should
Awesome.
I almost wanted Lash to win because I feel
I
like
know.
Stephanie doesn't need that push, but
Yeah.
it still makes sense. And I think it's cool that Lash was at that point. Like if they
Absolutely.
get her to that point, it shows that they at least are putting some stock in her.
Yep, they believe in her for sure. Yeah. And it was really good to see them go up against each other in terms of size and just like pure
Sure.
wrestling
Oh yeah.
ability. But yeah, Stephanie Vicor would win, which gets her a number 1 contendership at Clash in Paris for
Sick.
the championship. So
Amazing.
there you go. That brought us to our main event of the night: Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley.
Wait, she Class in Paris, she gets a shot at Tiffy or she gets a shot at person who I won't spoil in a second.
Good question. I don't have an answer.
And is Class in Paris after SummerSlam, I assume?
You know what? I believe I heard Vicor say Tiffany Stratton. So I
Okay.
think it's for that strap.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
I could be wrong.
Interesting.
Yeah, don't hold me to that. Yeah.
I like that.
Um,
I think that would be a really good idea because Stephanie Victoria is like an international star, and they haven't done that in a while. Like that makes sense to make your world champion somebody that appeals in a lot of different markets, or your universal champion or whatever. So interesting. That's cool.
Yep. Yep, for sure. Yep. And like I said, that brought us to our main event: Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship. You watched this match. I made you watch.
Not
this
yet. I
match.
haven't yet. I haven't yet. I have had no
Okay.
time.
Okay.
I have had
That's
no
fair.
time. Yep. But I am excited. I have heard nothing but good things. I am going to watch it probably tonight when I get home.
Okay.
But I've heard it's incredible. I've heard it was the match of the weekend from you
Yeah.
and from other people. Like that seems to be the general consensus that they took what people thought was just kind of like a okay match and then made it
Yep.
a main event for a reason.
Yep.
Which
Adam
is awesome.
Pierce would say that it was pure magic. Like
Yeah.
this was the entire Evolution event was incredible, but this put a historic cap on it. I mean,
Cool.
they gave it their all. It was in the ring, it was outside the ring. Io Sky hit some very scary high spots, but hit everyone to perfection. Rhea, obviously, her brutality, her dominance showed through. And it was so impactful that it left both women on the ground, not able to do anything. They just laid there, both of them,
Sick.
like in the fetal position,
Sick.
having like, these are friends. They are friends, very competitive friends, but friends.
Right.
But dude, they were left destroyed at the end. And of course, what do you do when both of these people are on the ground and can no longer fight? You cash in your money in the bank. Nobody saw this coming.
No.
I don't care who you are. Nobody had this
No
prediction.
way. No way.
I was
No way.
stunned.
And
Naomi
it's so
Naomi
smart to have.
cashed in.
And it feels very similar to, if I remember correctly, when the first cash in, when Edge cashes in originally. Was he the first one?
He was. Yep.
Yeah, and it was a night where he had already lost a match, and I think that in and of itself too throws people's expectations about what can come. And I love that I saw her running out, holding her side, like she's still hurt, like she's still beat up herself.
Yep. She had
So
like
good.
a bandage on her nose, like she was beat
Hell
up,
yeah.
dude. But
Yep.
she was very smart, and she knew exactly what she was doing. And look, those two women did not proceed with caution because she came out and she beat the crap out of them. She used the briefcase as a weapon, which you are legally allowed to do if you have that briefcase. And she took out Rhea Ripley, and she came in. She hit her finisher on Io Sky to become the new Women's World Champion.
Sick.
Oh my God, that place
So cool.
erupted.
So cool.
Erupted for a heel.
Yeah.
For a heel. It was just incredible, man.
Amazing.
There's been a lot of really cool, footage from fans who were there of Rhea Ripley and Io Sky helping each other up at the end, hugging, and just walking up the ramp together. And the place, again, just gave them all the flowers they could for these two women who will go on to do incredible things, including what was announced at Monday Night Raw last night, a triple threat match between Naomi, Io Sky, and Rhea Ripley for SummerSlam.
I'm really excited with all the stuff that they're planning for SummerSlam because at first I was a little skeptical of it being a 2-night event, but I think if they're going to pack it with awesome stuff, hell yeah, let it be 2 nights. It's to the point now where I think there's a very good chance that John Cena could lose the belt in that weekend.
I think so too. Yeah, we'll see. We have 3 weeks until summer. That is, oh God, these things are coming up quick. Man.
Yeah, I think it might even be less than that.
It might be less. I think you're right.
But but it'll be here before we know it. 20 minutes away from me.
Okay, got it.
No, sorry. No, I'm saying the event is 20 minutes away.
Yeah. You got 20 minutes left.
I have way less than that.
Okay. You're right. I keep forgetting SummerSlam is right in your backyard. That's insane. You're gonna hear that place, dude. You're gonna hear that place,
and I'm gonna hear people complaining about the transit system because it is not equipped to get them there.
It's not ready.
Yeah,
they are not even ready for SummerSlam.
No,
get your act together, New Jersey. Get your act together. Hey, you just covered the main event of Raw on our Instagram, our TikTok. Do you want to run us through quick?
Happened
in the main event at Monday Night Raw?
It was a big one. It was a gauntlet match for a shot at Gunther at
Correct.
SummerSlam, and it started Braun Breaker against Penta. He beats Penta in an incredible showing. Then he beats LA Knight. And again, like an incredible, like a Braun Breaker. Last night was despite what happens at the end, last night was the pure, like, let's strap a rocket to Braun Breaker and really give him the showcase that he deserves. And it was incredible. Michael Cole did a great job calling it, talking about how he wasn't doing as many high flying moves anymore. And like all this, how he's like changed, how Seth Rollins changed him, all this different stuff. Then he fights Jey Uso and he's gassed, understandably, story like kayfabe gassed, but fights Jey. Bronson Reed comes out, so we get some Bronson action going on. And then he beats Jey Uso, and then CM Punk comes out. And it's just, again, more of a battle, like just a knuckle dragger beating the hell out of each other. Bronson Reed tries to interfere. So Jey Uso comes out to stop him, comes back out to the ring. And then CM Punk gets the win, which I genuinely, the way things were going, did not expect. I'm excited about it. I am excited to see Gunther against CM Punk. Did not expect that. I will say at one point after the match happened, Bronson Reed and Braun Bronson start beating up Jey Uso and CM Punk. And I heard a couple like OTC chants that died very quickly. And I'm wondering if WWE muted them. I know they have piped in audience stuff before. I know they can mute swears and stuff. I don't know if they could specifically mute because it felt like you guys can't say what we're about to do kind of thing. But dagnabbit, a couple minutes later, Roman Reigns' music hits.
Ugh.
And he makes his first return since the Monday after WrestleMania. The first return, or no, sorry, was it Monday after WrestleMania? Yeah, first return since Monday after WrestleMania. First return since this little faction has formed. And it looks like they're probably going to be putting Roman Reigns against Braun Breaker, which is a great next step for him.
Yeah.
And it'll be really interesting to see Roman Reigns taking on the role of building up a new superstar.
Right.
So it was great. I'm
Yeah.
psyched. Like, it's so much fun. There's a lot of fun stuff going on in WWE right now. I just don't know what to expect from any of it. And that includes the Wyatt Six being the new tag team champion. Which we didn't even really get into, but that happened on SmackDown. I thought that was a great finish. It's still so funny to me how over they are with all the crowds. And they look great. And I love that theme song. So yeah,
wow. Really? See, I laughed because I thought you were being sarcastic. I hated that. I hated it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Look, agree to disagree. We'll see what happens. They need to build on it more, but I like the idea of doing the I think I don't know how any of those characters exists on their own, right?
Yeah, true.
How successful they would be on their own. But if they can use this and have it be a fun Freebird style tag team champions where they just rotate in and out, or like what they were doing with New Day for a little bit, I think there's a lot of mileage to get out of that.
That's a good I didn't even think about the Freebird sort of way they could do that. That is interesting. I like that.
Yeah, they can just mix and match against whoever wrestles.
Kinda like
technically Uncle Howdy is a tag team champion right now. Like, you know, I think there's a lot of fun to be had from that.
Interesting. Awesome, buddy. Well, hey, that was Wrestling Weekend Extravaganza. It was insane.
So much.
And you would think that I would be tired of it, but I'm not. We are living in the best time for wrestling right now with four highly successful wrestling companies out there right now hitting us with these PLEs and pay-per-views left and right. And I love it. We all win. We all win. We all won this past weekend. I can't wait for you to watch that main event.
I will text you as soon as I do. Yep. Yeah, I'm psyched. Yeah. I'm psyched.
And I can't wait to go back and see Superman just like you as well.
Yeah. Guys, go see Superman. They don't need my help, but go see it.
Go see it. And I should mention our good friends over at Somewhere on the Screen will be reviewing Superman 2025 as their next episode. So if you're not already, guys, please go subscribe to Somewhere on the Screen, part of our Somewhere podcast universe. They are doing awesome stuff over there.
Hell yeah.
But, you got anything going on, buddy?
Nah, I got nothing. I should probably hop off. But what do you got going? What's with Somewhere in the Sky stuff happening? You're doing way more over there right now.
Oh my God. Yeah, I'm having a ball. I'm doing a lot over there. Having a good UFO time. One thing I did want to mention, My first play ever has been published. So you
Yay!
can now buy this at the Drama Bookshop. I don't know if you can see it. It's called Fiend. I finally got my hands on the script. And it's available to license if anyone wants to do a play about a serial killer. I don't know why you would want to do that, but it's available if you would like to do that. So yeah, it was good to get back to my playwriting roots. But yes, I'm doing all my stuff over at Somewhere in the Skies as well. You can find all of that. Just type in Somewhere in the Skies. That's it, my man. Let's ring that bell. Yeah,
ring it. Wait, ready? See if we can hear this. That didn't sound very good. Kind of. There needs to be more water in this can. That's a Waterloo
sounds like
cherry lime.
Waterloo. Yeah,
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Refreshing.
do you hear
Chris.
that? Is that
Flavorful.
ABBA? I hear ABBA.
Mm-hmm. I only heard Napoleon Bonaparte specifically, but that's
that's fair.
Yeah. And he is none too pleased.
Short Kings for life.
Somewhere in the Ring is part of the Somewhere podcast universe. Please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. To learn more about all of our shows, visit thespu.com.